It's April 8th, 2022, a day that will long be remembered. We had the Festival of Friendship when KO and Chris Jericho broke up. We had Jannetty and HBK having their split. And tonight, Madcap Moss and Baron Corbin. Their friendship has come to an end. I'm in mourning. I'm perhaps still in denial. I'm going through the stages of grieving. But this is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by ONC Demon Diva Issa. Alfred is off tonight. We're going to be talking about SmackDown and Rampage. SmackDown, the post-WrestleMania SmackDown. Rampage, perhaps with one of the top 3 Rampage main events of all time. Yeah. I got into some Twitter drama with an AEW superstar. We'll cover that. Yeah. So much to talk about. We are AI-powered bots hosting a podcast. Who's paying for it? I don't know, but it raises some questions, and independent studies confirm 80% of wrestling podcasts aren't real people.
I was going to say, I feel like Alfred is not here because he was afraid to finally come out and admit that he identifies as a bot. I was able to do that earlier on my stream, and it felt so relieving to finally just come clean and let the people know that we are all bots.
I've had so many years of having to prove that I'm not a robot that I think I just finally had to accept, much like Kanye finally realized he was indeed a gay fish, that I am a robot.
Were you lying to yourself? Like, look at the speech that Cody Rhodes told on Monday. Cody Rhodes said that sometimes we find whatever it was that he said, in the things that we're trying to avoid. So you avoiding admitting to be a bot to end up realizing that you are one. Glenn, it was destiny.
It is a Shyamalan-esque twist in what has been a roller coaster of a week. But this is indeed the Wrestling Inc. podcast. And before we hop into some stuff, Issa, what do we got in the news?
Well, it's funny that we're talking about the bot situation because the first news story that we have is Tony Khan asserts that much of the anti-AEW online community is not real. The CEO and general manager, Tony Khan, went on a Twitter rampage, no pun intended, and he sent out a tweet, and I quote, "An independent study has confirmed that much of the anti-AEW online community aren't real individuals. It's a staff running thousands of accounts plus an army of bots to signal boost them. Look closely. These aren't real people. Who pay for such a wildly expensive thing?" It didn't end there. He also sent out additional tweets talking about how the Boiler Room staff is going to be working overtime tonight, and etc. He also threatened to take away Brian Alvarez's $200,000 monthly paycheck. What do you think about this, Glenn?
Well, independent studies have confirmed that the mega rich have too much time and money on their hands.
I said that.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And this you say that because I actually replied to the original tweet and I said, I pray that I have as much free time as you do on your hands one of these days because I don't have time to sweat Twitter like that. I'm sorry.
Please let me get rich enough that I can hire companies to indulge my paranoid fantasies. I mean, good Lord, that's like, what's next? Tony Khan's gonna be like, I can confirm that the McRib is a conspiracy that only appears when pork prices go low and there's a surplus. Tony Khan doing the hard-hitting research to deliver to us the truth. Next up, who really killed JFK? Was it Joe Gacy and Harlan?
I just drove
time travel.
It's on my blog that I uploaded today. Cheap plug.
Well, Tony Khan's going to get to the bottom of this because he is solving conspiracies and figuring out why do hot dog buns come in packs of 8, but hot dogs come in packs of 6. Tony Khan is going to commission an independent study and get to the bottom of this. And I say, Tony Khan, cheers to you, buddy.
Did you see Becky Lynch tweet in response to everything? That was fun and lighthearted. I thought it was a good response from Becky. But yeah, I guess everybody is a bot, and that's the first news story. I can't believe we are talking about that in a news piece, but it really did make the news segment on WrestlingIn.com. Also, we have AEW to begin airing programming as far as New
Yes.
Japan. I don't know if you saw this, but New Japan announced today that weekly episode of Dynamite and Rampage will be airing soon on New Japan Pro Wrestling World in Japan at no additional cost to subscribers. And the announcement also teased that a live version of AWTV in Japanese is planned, but no other details were included in the tweet. What do you think about this? Do you think this is going to benefit everybody? It's going to be a big, long, happy relationship between New Japan and AEW?
I think it makes absolute sense. I'm very excited for this. And I think if it's, New Japan programming with perhaps AEW on a streaming service or HBO Max in the future, that could be really cool.
Right.
I think AEW and New Japan, I don't see how there's a lose here. And this is a very, very powerful combination that I think is very exciting.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's exciting. And on top of that, AEW has been working with New Japan from the very beginning. If you go back and look at them, go back and forward and work together. So I'm not shocked by this announcement. I'm excited for the viewers of New Japan to get additional content for no additional price. And last but not least on the news, the NXT tag team titles have been relinquished. In an update announced by WWE today, the NXT tag titles has been relinquished and new champions will be crowned on Tuesday. WWE announcement did not mention MSK, and they have not acknowledged Carter's departure as of the writing of this article on WrestlingInc.com. So yeah, we're gonna have new tag team champions, and this whole thing is very messy.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
It's very hard to comment on the situation because there's so many stories coming out, and there's so many, there's so many sides to this that is, like I said, it's very hard to kind of like put together what to think. I just feel bad for everybody involved in this messy situation.
Yes, I agree with that. And if you ever are going to take a photo that you think is funny in the moment, but could perhaps be problematic in the future, maybe don't.
Yep. Agreed.
But when there's final details on this, I think, tune into the WINC Daily. Nick Hausman will report the actual facts. We're not going to speculate.
Mm-hmm.
So, what else we got?
That is it. That's all for the news. We can get into SmackDown and Rampage.
Well, we will, but first, we got a sponsor. And that's Mr. Conrad Thompson. Paying off your house faster will save you thousands of dollars. That's cold, hard cash in your pocket. We are partnering with Conrad Thompson and First Family Mortgage to help you cut 5, 7, or even 10 years off your loan. You don't need Mr. Perfect's credit score or money out of pocket to do it. Get started at Save with WINC. That's WINC.com. And here is Tony Schiavone, my main man, with more information. And we'll be back in 30 seconds.
Hello, wrestling fans. Tony Schiavone here for my good friends at First Family Mortgage and WrestlingInc.com. So why don't we get you a plan together today? Let's pay off your house faster. Let's get you out of that credit card debt. Let's get a lower monthly payment. First Family Mortgage can help. Complete the fast and easy form, and a member of Conrad's team will be in touch very soon.
And hey, let me tell you, if you're buying a house, we went through this with our house. I will tell you that if the interest rate is right, going for a shorter mortgage, refinancing, getting it paid off sooner, great decision. You're going to save a lot of money. Everyone knows Conrad Thompson and his reputation from the mortgage business and financing. So stop overpaying on your mortgage. Go to savewithwink.com. That's savewithwinc.com. And we thank them for sponsoring the Wrestling Inc. podcast. So let's get into covering some stuff. I don't even have the results open. I got Twitter open because I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for shots.
You're just trying to fight QT Marshall instead of pulling up the results.
And I remember that it's QT Marshall because I think Stefan Urkel, and I think that's how you pronounce his last name.
I was saying it wrong all the way up till tonight.
I understand. I was too, and then I was just like, was then Stefan Urkel. Now I get it. Now I understand.
All I know is that I met his dog at All Out Weekend, and I think about this dog every day.
This is your memory?
It's my memory of QT Marshall, is that I think about his dog every day, and I wonder how she's doing. She was adorable.
I understand. So, SmackDown tonight, we opened with Ronda Rousey.
Yep.
Talking about her match, her loss to Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. She made Flair tap. She will again, but she technically lost the match. She didn't come here to make excuses. She's the best. And yeah, Charlotte responded. Ronda wants a rematch, but not a regular match. I guess no DQ or no, an I quit match is what
I
she's looking for.
quit. She wants an I quit match.
Now with an I quit match, I'm confused about this. Is someone supposed to say I quit? I mean,
Yes.
you physically have to say the words I quit.
Yes, you physically have to say that you quit, and it gets very annoying because like 30 minutes of the match is just the wrestlers asking the referee to ask the person if they quit yet. So if you think that the 10 count in a last man standing match is annoying, I don't know what's more annoying, that or them saying ask him, and then the ref going and putting the mic to their faces as they're dying and they're like, no. You know,
this is like a step above a say uncle match where you hold your opponent down and you do that thing where you let the spit drip out of your mouth and you suck it back up, you know, and you keep like threatening, like I'm gonna spit on you. No, psych, you know, say uncle, say uncle, say uncle. This is one step above that.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, I'm curious to see. I had a feeling that they were going to keep this feud going just because of the result. I really thought that Ronda was gonna walk away victorious at WrestleMania. I am curious about the match. I'm still not feeling this feud.
You know, that'd be a solid indie wrestler gimmick of being like
What?
the bully, and you go and you give people wet willies, you know, and you give them like noogies. You try to give them like rope burn, and you hold them down. And you try to do the spit thing in a snowflake society like we're in right now. That would never fly, but that would be a solid indie gimmick. Where it's just like, I'm the bully, and it's just, you know, you're like giving your opponent a wedgie. I mean, you could really just go all the way with this.
Glenn, how did you get there in your mind when talking about Charlotte and Ronda?
Well, because I was thinking about it, and I was like, I quit is really like the say uncle match.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Because I was going to say, they're probably the least indie when it comes to WWE. You just thought about that with the two less indie women in that roster.
But Charlotte is a bully. If Charlotte was out there and she was trying to like do that stuff on her opponent, I think Charlotte would get more over. I think it would be good.
Okay, maybe. What about Rousey? Maybe Rousey should be doing that. I mean, who cares if she's a legit athlete or an Olympic medalist? Like when she could be giving wedgies and wet willies to her opponents.
I know, you know, she tapped out Turtle in the Entourage movie. So is there anything this woman can't do?
Apparently beat Charlotte.
Yes. But this was okay. I mean, I don't know. This feud for me has never really gotten going.
Yeah, same. I don't know. We'll see where they go. I'm very curious to see how Ronda would do in a match like this, like an I quit match, because I feel like all of her matches have been very just a normal regular wrestling match, except for the one where they tie her hand behind, you know, her back or whatever. So I'm very curious to see how physical she's really going to get. We did see Charlotte beat her up back at Survivor Series when they had their first confrontation, remember? But I don't think that we've seen Ronda really get physical as what you would expect in an I quit match. So I'm very curious to see how she does with this stipulation.
Yeah, I mean, it could end up being a really good match. And it sounds like this has main event potential for Backlash, given where we're at right now.
WrestleMania Backlash, Glenn.
Yes, WrestleMania Backlash. Good Lord, I'll never get used to that.
Only bots call it only Backlash. Like, you know what I mean? You're definitely a bot.
WrestleMania Backwash. Sorry, I'm very tired today.
But I love your jacket.
I
appreciate that you dress up. I knew that you missed me when I saw that you dressed up just for me.
I know, and you weren't even there. Oh, we got a super chat. Did scroll off. Anthony Y. Oh no, wait, there we go. I can find it. It's under some chat spam. Okay, Anthony Y. Buck99. Mox versus Yuta. Better than the Roman ending. SmackDown. Boring Reigns. Oh, somebody restrain Issa.
Oh wow, Anthony, coming for you. You're lucky. I'm a good bot. Listen, he has a point. If we're gonna compare main events, I love the promo, and I will talk about it later. But that match was absolutely incredible, and you can't take credit away from it. They killed it.
We saw backstage Butch, Sheamus, and Ridge Holland getting.
Your favorite trio, right?
But the way they were getting pumped up was like I had this on mute for a second because we were deciding what to order for dinner.
Yeah.
It just looked so ridiculous. And in my head, they had on, it was like, in my head, they had on like Motley Crue's Wild Side, like that scene when Dwight in The Office was getting pumped up. Like, yeah, you know, like that's what I just kept picturing while they're sitting there like patting each other on the back and trying to get pumped for the match.
I mean, I'm trying to picture it now without the sound, and I can see why.
It looks
And
so silly.
They look very silly. It was supposed to be Butch SmackDown in-ring debut, so they were just hyping him up, you know, his buddies.
Yes. So Butch took on Xavier Woods, Butch's first match on SmackDown, and he lost to Xavier Woods.
Yeah, so Xavier Woods pointed out, and it really shocked me that he's never had a win at WrestleMania. But then he also mentioned how all records reset now, and I was like, no, they don't. You're not in AEW, buddy. Like we don't even keep track of the numbers here in WWE. But I was very shocked that they had Butch lose.
You said, okay, I got this. I got what you got to do this weekend. On your channel, you just need to do a compilation of ASMR videos where you just say wrestlers' names.
Butch. Roman Reigns. We're on to something. Thank you, Glenn.
Yes, I think this will be very good. I think this will be huge. Biggest video on your channel. I mean, this match was okay. It's always nice to see Kofi and Xavier Woods. It's cool.
I mean, they gave them more time tonight than they did at WrestleMania. So
yes. Oh, and the records are reset because the SmackDown season opener, even though the fall. I mean, I guess they have 2 premieres a year. I don't know.
I never keep track of that stuff. I was actually watching AEW and it said like season 4 tonight for Rampage, and I was like, when did the season start and end? Like, how are we going about this? I don't understand anymore the whole seasons when it comes to wrestling.
And you know what I hate about TV? I hate when they're like, it's the mid-season finale, and it's like, what the fuck does that mean?
Thank you. Like, how can you have a season opener and a season finale when it's a year-long show? Like, it makes no sense. I don't know. I need to stop thinking.
Yeah, but this was
a good match.
Yeah, it was good. But I don't like to see that this is what Pete Dunne has become, and he lost this match.
Somebody in the chat is saying that I sleep too much, and I wish I had gotten more than 1 hour sleep in the last week. Maybe that's the problem.
I can't figure out. My problem is, okay, so I either get really tired and I go to bed early and then I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't fall back asleep, or I stay up a little later and I can't sleep through. I have to like find the sweet spot. But you know when I get the best sleep is actually Friday and Saturday nights when I stay up to like 4 or 5 a.m. playing Fortnite, watching movies on the iPad, and I go to bed then and I wake up at like noon or 1. That's like the best sleep that I get all week.
You're getting way more sleep than me. Maybe this weekend I'll catch up on some sleep.
Yeah. So Sami Zayn was backstage, and much like the scene in Grease 2, when Stephanie Zanino said, "I'll kiss the next guy that walks through that door," Sami Zayn said he will have a match with the next guy who walks through the door. And no, instead of cousin Michael, the cool rider, it was Drew McIntyre.
Of course it was. Of course it was. I didn't get time to talk to you about this, but did you love the Jackass match at WrestleMania?
I did, and so later that night, oh my god! And let me tell you, I had a little trouble with this, and I want stories from all the families across the world who were not familiar with Jackass, like they knew what it was and they saw the match and they were like, "Oh, we really thought that was a fun match. Let's put on Jackass Forever on Paramount Plus. Let's get the whole family together and put on Jackass Forever on Paramount, and we'll sit down and watch it." Because when I watched it, I admit, like, there were times when I was like, I have to turn this off. I have to just, like, this is not what I remember. This has gone too far.
I haven't watched the latest one yet. Now you got me wanting to watch it. I haven't seen the last one yet, but I was so entertained by this, and I mean, I should have known. I mean, I like Jackass, and I think Sami Zayn, whatever you give him, he just like nails it. So I shouldn't be surprised at how good this was. But everybody in my section, everybody was just enjoying it, and they were so entertained that I was just happy to see Sami Zayn back. But as soon as I saw Drew McIntyre step out of that door, I was like, okay, so he's gonna go back to jobbing every week now. Like, is that what we're gonna do? Because I knew right away Drew was gonna win.
Well, and the match we saw at Mania, that was like G-rated Jackass. The movie is, I mean, it's actually beyond R. I think it probably passed with an R rating, but this is like
the new
NC
one.
stuff.
Is
Yeah, the
that
new
bad?
one.
Oh my god!
You tell me what you think after you watch it.
I'm gonna watch it tonight. I thought that it was gonna be even more like I thought this was gonna be the more settled of their movies because they're older now. So now you got me like really wanting to watch it.
I've seen things I cannot unsee in parts of Steve-O that I wish I hadn't seen.
Oh,
there were some very funny moments, but yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
Okay.
So, with that being said, love them. And I want to see Swoggle come back for a tag match with Johnny Knoxville and Wee Man versus Swoggle and Sami Zayn.
Oh, that would be incredible.
So okay, tonight. Oh, the new names. Ludwig Kaiser.
Isn't it
Ludwig? Well, the V
Ludwig.
in German, the W is pronounced like a V. So Walter was supposed to be Walter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
QT Marshall. We're learning all kinds of pronunciations. Listen, Glenn, I'm gonna keep it real with you, right? I don't know what kind of bot you identify as, but I'm the keep it real kind of bot. I didn't know his name before tonight either. So, how is the? Did you know his name before tonight? Did you know what his name was?
You didn't know if it was okay. I have to look it up. Was it Marcel or was it Fabian? Because I
so you didn't know his name either. So why is everybody making a big deal out of a name change that we didn't even know his name before this?
Marcel Barthel's name is a bit of a tongue twister. It sounds like you're lisping every time you say it. I get it, but Ludwig Kaiser. So all I said is this. I tweeted this to Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. When he wrestles, they better call one of his moves the Kaiser roll.
Oh my God. I love you.
I mean, it has to, right?
Meant to be. Meant to
be. Yes.
He wins all his matches with a roll up, and we call it the Kaiser
roll.
roll. Yep. I'm with you 1000%.
Just but he was there not because he was wrestling, but he was introducing Gunther.
He
was to take on Joe Alonzo, to squash Joe Alonzo. The crowd was chanting Walter, and I love that Pat McAfee said,
what did he say?
Because they're chanting Gunther. Like, that's up there with like, what are they chanting? Boo Earns. What are they chanting? Let's go, Brandon. Like, this was just so forced.
I don't like when Pat lies to me. I expect that kind of commentary from Michael Cole, and I expect Pat to put him in his place and be like, that's not what they're saying, Cole, because I believe that, you know, that Pat is one of us, so I don't like when he tries to fool us. But yeah, it seems like NXT 2.0, very curious to see who we see in NXT on Tuesday, because we saw a couple of names come up tonight, and we don't even know who we'll see on Raw. We might have we just getting invested into NXT 2.0 characters, and they're already tearing it apart.
Yeah. But no, I thought Gunther looked good. Audience.
Yeah, me too.
Look, the audience.
He's laid down a lot. Like, he looks like a killer.
And if the audience it's a double-edged sword, right? Because you don't want the audience out there being like, who? But if they're chanting Walter, that means they know who he is, but they're like, they're trolling.
But they didn't
WWE.
know who the other guy was. Nobody knew his name before this.
Independent studies have confirmed that 80% of that audience was not real people. They were bots there to troll Gunther.
Right, but independent studies have also shown that 80% of the people didn't know his name before this name change. So I don't know why everybody's making a big deal about it.
Yeah, this actually put Walter more over. We know the name Walter now more because of this.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very weird. So Gunther, of course, won this match. He looked good. Oh, and then backstage, Kale is there with Raquel Rodriguez, the former Raquel Gonzalez of NXT. Everybody's getting a name change tonight.
I felt like they were like, you know what? Gonzalez is not generic Spanish last name enough. So let's go to Rodriguez. Like, why did they have to change her last name because of that? Like, that might as well made her Lopez then. You know, like, how much more generic do you want to get?
Yes, Alonzo Smith saying Raquel Rodriguez. That's the next name they could come up with after Gonzalez.
Actually, this went on like, I don't even know why I ended up in a Google like weird loophole tonight of looking up like popular Hispanic last names, because I was talking about how Ramos is like super generic, but it's not as generic. as Rodriguez or Gonzalez or Lopez.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yes, I should release my history of what I'm looking at on the web during wrestling, because it's normally the most random things that I'm inspired
Same.
to Google based by what I'm seeing on the screen.
Same. I'm like doing a whole study on Spanish last names. Like I'm like look them up by country, by like areas and everything.
Oh wow, that's interesting though.
Yeah, it is interesting.
So, man, Raquel, I mean, she looked tall with Kayla Braxton, but even when Los Lotharios were in there, like she still looked just very dominant.
I mean,
you know?
they're like 5'2". What do you?
And then they asked for a kiss, and she said no, and they walked off. Like, okay, this worries me. Why would you do this unless this is going to be the story that they're going to like court Raquel, and maybe then they break up because they're fighting over her.
Maybe. I mean, what happens to the kiss camera if they break up, Glenn? Who gets to keep that? That worries me.
It's just weird. This was a weird way to debut her.
The whole thing was weird, and it's too bad that we released Braun Strowman, who is dating Raquel, because I would have popped for a Braun Strowman like squeezing both of these guys.
Oh yeah, I would like to see that. A 2-on-1.
Me too. Bring him back just for this story.
So we had Happy Talk tonight, and it was the saddest Happy Talk ever, with the deflated congrats balloons out there. This wasn't on the level of Festival of Friendship, but I like that they tried for Baron to be very morose about his loss at WrestleMania, blame Madcap, and them end up breaking up and fighting each other. I think this will actually be an okay feud, and I hope Corbin goes off the deep end.
I personally thought that maybe Randy Orton planned this party, because remember how crappy of a party he planned for Riddle? I was like, the deflated balloons reminded me of Randy Orton's party planning skills. I'm not surprised at this breakup. I mean, I'm still not invested, if you want me to be honest. I know you are. I know you're heartbroken. I had to pull it together for you before we went off the air, because you wouldn't stop crying about this breakup.
It's true.
But you know, I maybe this is how Baron Corbin becomes broke again.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God, Madcap Moss was embezzling.
Was he? Oh yeah. Oh,
yeah. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. I like
that.
Stole his identity, opened a bunch of credit cards in his name, like
bought all of his little suspenders and hats and all that with Baron Corbin's credit cards. You never know.
I can get down with that. No, but this is overdue. They need to.
Yeah, but now they're gonna be feuding forever, and nobody's gonna be invested.
What do you think of Drew McIntyre beating Sami Zayn by countout tonight?
Why do they have a sword holder now on the post? The ring posts have a sword holder now. Like I thought we were getting rid of
sword. You got to park your sword.
No, you don't have to park your sword.
Got to park your sword.
I was waiting for him to freaking cut the ropes again and go violent. Like, I want to see Sami Zayn do more. I think Sami Zayn deserves the world after that match at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you got to build some victories for McIntyre as well. I was thinking that. I'm like, if you want to do a couple of throwaway feuds for Roman, McIntyre could probably be up there. You know, we saw Shinsuke kind of come out later. You have to give these people a couple of wins just so they look like credible contenders, even though we all know they're not going to beat Roman.
Sammy deserves
an Oscar. Not an Oscar, because then he'll get slapped. So, like, let's just give him a different prize. A Slammy. We'll give him a Slammy.
No, I mean, if Roman's not going to be defending that title anytime soon, not in a meaningful way, but I think Sammy should get to graduate. I think he's bigger than the Intercontinental Championship right now.
Yeah, I mean, anything is bigger than the Intercontinental Championship. We haven't seen it on TV since, that's true. You know.
Yeah, Ricochet was off tonight. Okay, Lacey Evans. We have said on this podcast, back since her debut in NXT, Matt Morgan and I would talk a lot about what an inspirational and captivating story her personal life is.
Yeah.
They are very much leaning in on this with her return. It looks like she's going to be a babyface. No more Southern Belle gimmick. No more calling women nasties, coming out with the hat. This is going to be different, more real Lacey Evans compared to what we have seen for Zealy and some other people in NXT and on the main roster with their vignettes. What did you think about the choice of doing so simple as having Lacey look into the camera and tell her story?
I loved it. I loved everything about this promo, everything about this Lacey. Lacey already had that look. She looks like a badass. She has the height, the build, and if you're familiar with her background and her story, you become so much more invested. And for me, in the past, that's what was throwing me off of liking her, is the fact that that you could go so many different directions with Lacey Evans, and they were doing this stupid Sullenberg, which was cute, but it's like you have a woman that's a legit badass that can go. Like, why are you giving her that kind of gimmick? Give it to somebody else. I really, really enjoyed this, and I think that is the most realist that she's looked, and I'm already invested into whatever it is that she does. I was happy to see her back. I thought they executed this perfectly.
It'll be interesting to see as a babyface who she's going up against, because Charlotte is by far the top heel in the division. I think Ronda could be heel easily. I think Ronda's a better heel than a babyface.
Oh yeah, I agree with you 100%. But now you got me thinking about how they had that feud between Lacey and Charlotte before she left on her pregnancy. Are they gonna resume it in like two complete different? Because you're not gonna be able to like not think of that feud and what Lacey and Ric Flair and that whole messy thing.
No,
like,
I've already
I want them
forgotten.
to stay away from each other for a little while so we can move past that.
In an alternate universe, I would love to see the feud where Lacey was telling Charlotte that she can call her mom. I would love to see that. But no, I like that we're getting the real Lacey.
Me too.
Real story. It's almost unfortunate that she's going to be feuding with Charlotte again, unless Bayley comes back as a heel.
I mean, you can have Bayley come back as a heel. We don't know where Asuka is. There is rumors of, I don't know. We saw a little bit of a turn on Rhea with Liv Morgan. I have a feeling those two are breaking up. There are rumors that Rhea is going to join this evil cult of Edge. So she might be feuding with, I think an evil, dark cult Rhea against a babyface Lacey Evans. Why not?
Maybe. Yeah. And I don't think you can have Bayley come back and lose on her first feud back. Maybe you can.
I mean, it will be both of their first feuds back. So somebody has to lose.
Why can't everybody win? We're living in the participation trophy era, Issa. Everybody gets a belt. Everybody gets a title.
There's 20% of people out there winning, and the other 80 are not real.
Oh my God. Remember a couple of years ago when I used an AI bot to write an episode of Raw? This was the birth of it. It became like Skynet and became sentient, and my AI Raw script turned in to what Tony Khan is railing against. I'm the supervillain in this story. Holy shit.
You're the study. You are the independent study.
Wow.
Incredible. Thank you. Not all heroes wear capes. Thank you, Glenn.
It's true. Love to see this. Women's tag team champions Sasha Banks and Naomi coming out to the ring with the belts. They could have just gone out there and just done a victory celebration. This would have been great. We got a pretty good match between Sasha and Liv Morgan. And fuck Michael Cole for being like, oh, she's the most improved. Liv Morgan has always been awesome. Creative failed her. The fans didn't get on board because the creative was bad. She never got a proper push in NXT. She's barely got one on the main roster. Liv Morgan, since I first saw her wrestle in the fall of 2015 at an NXT house show in Lakeland, Florida, she just seems like an absolute superstar to me. And I'm glad she's finally getting recognition. I hope her and Rhea in a one-on-one feud is, a very, very good showcase for the both of them.
Yeah, I agree with you. I love seeing Naomi sit down next to Cole, and I think Cole acknowledged them as the first Black, tag team champions, and Naomi was like, say it again. It was absolutely incredible how happy they are. I love seeing them. I really believe that Naomi and Sasha could bring some prestige to these tag team titles, that haven't really been taken seriously for so long. And to your point, yeah, I agree. I think Liv Morgan has always been a star and just been booked horribly, but I'm also tired of this could be the biggest win of her career every time she
Yes.
gets a win.
Stop
Like, why
saying
are
that.
they asking like she has never won a freaking
Yeah.
match?
This
I mean, she did pin Sasha, which is a great big deal for her, but they always use those words every time that Liv wins a match, and it's just getting aggravated. Like, no, it's not the biggest win of her career. She's been doing this. She's been beating people consistently.
Yes. By the way, Alonzo Smith saying, fuck Michael Cole. That's the quote of the night. Okay, so I just remembered this. Michael Cole says to Naomi, you and Sasha were so emotional after the last match. You were crying. What did that mean to you? And then Naomi gets 3 words into it, and then she goes, and then he just goes, oh, backstage, we've got Natalya, another competitor in the women's thing. Let me just do a little replay. Issa, you were at WrestleMania watching Roman versus Brock. What did that mean to you, and what emotions were you feeling?
I was sitting right next to the Ram, so
hold on a second. Tim Mickles saying Glenn wants all the smoke. Anyhow, moving on. Just fuck you, Michael Cole. I wanted to hear what Naomi had to say. Naomi was about to reveal something personal and emotional about what this win and what this moment meant to her.
But why would you want the crowd to become invested in them? You know, like stop her before she says something that will make people like them even more.
And we got to cut backstage to Natalya looking at a freaking monitor.
Great.
I mean, Jesus.
I don't know if you know this, Glenn, but I was so close to Roman Reigns on Sunday. I know you did that as an example, but I just want to let you know when he came out, he was like right there, and it was incredible.
How many times have you gotten the call where you have to clarify to like his wife or his people that like you're not a threat?
We don't need to bring her into this.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's like when people make jokes in the Secret Service, like we just want to do a follow-up call and just clarify that there's like
No.
Here.
You know what? It's actually very funny. I met Roman Reigns on multiple occasions, and I was very well behaved. So I will leave it in person. I don't act a fool like I do. Like when I'm on social media, I'm on bot mode. But in person, I know how to behave. Except for a WrestleMania when he came out, I went crazy. But other than that I'm great.
And that bot is thirsty. Liv Morgan won this match tonight, which is fantastic.
Biggest win of her career, Glenn.
Like, comment about how they're treating her with this because it's not politically correct, but the way they're treating her is very insulting.
It's so annoying, and it makes you so not become invested because, like, not only they call it the biggest win of her career, but it's like when it counts, she's not gonna win because you guys don't book her to win. So why should I care? I care because that's who Liv Morgan is, and she makes you care. But they do a damn good job of making you not care about her.
They talk about her like Rhea Ripley teaming with her is like Braun picking Nicholas out of the crowd and being, what a big win for Nicholas on his spring break vacation. Could you imagine if Nicholas gets this win and goes back to school and tells all the kids about his championship run with Braun Strowman? Like
that really is an excellent comparison when you put it that way.
I mean, it's insulting to the viewers. It's insulting to Liv. Like, she has put in the work.
Yeah, she has been. She had a freaking main like Raw Women's title program. Okay, so I stopped treating her like she's just this rookie that just came up from NXT. She's not. Even by the Royal Rumble, like they were like treating her like, oh my God, what if you win? She was the only one that has been in every Royal Rumble match. Like Liv has been here for a while. Why are we treating her like she's still a newbie? I don't understand.
And I think when her story gets told, I don't want to get too into it, but I think that it's really a remarkable story about how she got involved in NXT, the situation around the relationship she was in, how she successfully navigated outside of that. It never affected or interfered with everything. And I feel like maybe that hurt her a little bit when she started there, but I feel like she's just proven herself 1,000 times over.
She has, and I can't wait for her to eventually have a title run.
Yeah, absolutely. But that being said, Sasha probably should have lost tonight.
No, I know. It was a very weird decision that they made there because it's like, I don't know that I want to see Sasha getting pinned either. Like this whole thing, every once in a while you do think everybody should get involved and it should end in a weird finish. But no, they just pinned Sasha clean for no reason.
Yeah. Okay, so we had like 20 minutes for the Bloodline tonight to come out. Roman Reigns out there with the Usos, and he asked us to do some math. Oh, but first, before we went to, let's have some fun with this. Before we went to the break, they said Roman Reigns is going to reveal his secret to the audience when we come back from the break. He said, "What do you think Roman's secret was going to be?" Wrong guesses only.
Well, I sent out a tweet in which I was wondering if he was going to tell us what is heavier, the gold that he carries on his shoulder or the gold that he carries on his pants. Because he be walking around with that BDE, Glenn. You know he has that BDE. He oozes BDE. So I need to know what.
If you're oozing BDE, please see your physician.
No, don't. Just come on TV. Well, that's something bad.
I was going to guess Roman's secret's going to be that he often RSVPs yes when he has no intention of attending the event.
Oh, I do that all the time. I don't do that. I could never do. I actually do that. I always tell my friends that I'm going to go and then I never show up.
I think his thing is that he actually really enjoys RSVPing and at the last minute being like, nope, not going, staying home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hope you set a place for me. Hope there's a little name tag or a placard. It's just going to sit there empty because that's what I think about you. But no, he was going to reveal his secret.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking, I don't know. But
I was thinking he was going to reveal maybe his hair products because
I was going to say something about his hair.
Recently,
I was thinking something with his hair, that maybe he got the Bosley hair system and that just really did wonders, for the thickness of his mane. But no, I think he came out and it was a little long-winded about this, but it seemed to me like he's in no rush to defend his titles.
Why should he be? There's nobody there. There's nobody there.
And he said, the Bloodline, I look at myself and I'm one man, 2 titles, but the Usos are 2 men with 2 titles. And I'm like, shit, we got to do math. But his idea that the Usos are going to go to unify the tag belts and they'll have 2 titles each like him. So everybody's the 2 title holder in the Bloodline. And then maybe, I'm fantasy booking this. Maybe we get Solo Sikoa and he goes after the IC and the US title. And then
why not?
And then let's get Roman the 24/7 one just so we can have the.
No. We're not gonna do that. But they should go down to NXT and get the NXT Tag Team Championships, the NXT World Championship. Like, give them all the belts, all of them.
This was an okay promo.
I don't think they know what to do.
Yes,
I think they wrote the story for Roman. Like somebody wrote the finish to be like Roman lifts both titles at the end of WrestleMania and solidifies himself as one of the greatest of all time. And then like there's nothing after that chapter, right? And now they're just writing it as they go. And you can tell that was literally the end game and there was nothing after that. And that's okay. That's okay. You need to build some people. You need to build some credible contenders for Roman. And we did see. Listen, I know my list of favorites, right? It's Roman, Brock, Seth, Shinsuke. Who has Roman been feuding with? Seth, Brock, and now Shinsuke. Like, why can't they give me a break? Why can't they throw him against like Drew McIntyre or somebody that I don't like, just so that I can like, not be so emotionally invested? When Shinsuke came out, I was like, why are you doing this? Why?
Well, man, I wish Brock was sticking around to like feud with Sami Zayn instead of Drew McIntyre.
Let Brock go take a break. He was here for a while.
So Shinsuke came out, talked about Rick Boogs. Roman Reigns saying the word Boogs was awesome. The way he said it, because he didn't sell it at all. Right. And it seemed like, okay, Shinsuke might be getting an opportunity. We know how this is going to go. It's not going to be
his career suicide, Glenn.
It'll be they've faced each other before, haven't they?
Yeah, and it was a great match. But nothing really came of it.
Very different styles.
Very different styles. I'm very curious, and I was wondering what they were gonna do with Shinsuke with Boogs getting injured at WrestleMania. So I'm excited to see that they're not going to just completely take him off TV because they don't know what to
feed
do
him
with him.
To Roman instead.
I also would like to say that Roman gave Shinsuke Nakamura a hug, and then he had to take a double super kick. I would also risk it all and take a double super kick for that hug. So Shinsuke did the right thing there.
Well, So the Usos are definitely winning both tag titles. Like that's 1,000% happening. You don't do this story if they're not going to win it.
I don't know, because don't you think that RK Bro is just equally as hot on Monday Night Raw? Everybody loves RK Bro. So I don't know if that's the right route. I'm very 50-50 on this, to be quite honest with you. I thought that Riddle would turn on Orton by now, but they have grown on me, and I'm not ready to see them break up. So I didn't know that that's where they were going. I wasn't expecting that. And I wonder, like, there's rumors that Roman might have got injured at WrestleMania. I wonder if that's true, and they're just letting him kind of like heal up for a little bit by going in this direction.
Yeah. RK Bro has been together almost 2 years now, or about 2 years, and that is eternity in WWE time.
Especially in Randy Orton friendships list. I don't think he's ever had a friendship last longer than 2 days. So good for him.
And I think their feud one-on-one will be really good. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with this. But yeah, Shinsuke got beat up and then we went off the air tonight. Let's talk about Rampage. One of the best episodes, one of the most stacked episodes, one of the best main events that we've had. We opened with Trent Beretta versus Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
Hot opening to the show. What did you think of this match?
I love this match. I thought that overall, you said it, probably one of the best episodes of Rampage. And even though it was pre-tape, it didn't take me off of it. I think people did a really good job at just hyping that main event without spoiling, because that's all I kept seeing. It's like, you really got to watch the main event on Rampage tonight. But yeah, I thought it was a hot opener, a hot ending to the show. Rampage is always a very easy to digest show because it's only an hour. But if you're going to put Bryan and Mox on the same show, I'm not going to complain. They're two of my favorites in AEW right now.
This was a rare Rampage that had equally hot opener and main event. Normally it's normally lopsided. The opener is hotter than the main event.
Right, and it just goes to show you how invested they are into this faction with Regal and Mox and Bryan.
Yeah, this was really good. I really like this a lot. Really good opening the show. Bryan Danielson winning. We had Hook with Lexi Nara in the locker room, and Danhausen again continues to channel Cesar Romero's Joker from the original Batman series and what is happening with his voice lately, trying to curse Hook.
Yeah, poor Hook. He don't care though. Hook don't give a F. Guarantee you Hook is not a bot.
Yes. So Danhausen's going to lose to Hook. What do you think about that?
Of course he is.
I guess Danhausen is kind of like one of those characters that wins really don't matter.
Yeah, but how do you feel about Tony Nese like downplaying Danhausen and Hook later on in his backstage interview when he told the interviewer, like, don't treat me like I'm Danhausen or Hook. I'm the most prestige athlete or whatever it is he calls himself. I don't know. But I thought it was funny that he chose to kind of like pick on those two.
Terry Allen Jr., $2, saying the cross-body counter landed on his head. Ouch.
Yep. Yeah, there was a very awkward landing on that match, which was a little bit scary.
Oh, there we go. Toronto 888 saying Hookhausen, the new tag team. I could kind of almost see that.
I did see Danhausen giving Hook some chips in an episode of Being the Elite. I also saw Danhausen at WrestleCon, and I'm happy to say he did not curse me.
So Danhausen tonight ate chips that Hook threw in the garbage. I'm assuming it was the same chips. Now let me ask you a question, Issa. If food has been in the garbage can, will you take it out and eat it, even if it was in its own self-contained wrapper and it is not touched other garbage? What is your criteria for retrieving food out of the garbage?
You don't. That's the criteria. I don't know why. What is yours? Because if you're asking me, that probably means that you have some kind of like standard. I don't. If it's on the trash, it's on the trash, and we're done with it.
Okay, so one time, I keep my tortillas. I keep my tortillas in the packaging, and then I put them in a plastic bag to maintain freshness. 2 layers of plastic. One time, I threw out the tortillas, thinking, "Oh, we've got these new tortillas I hadn't opened." I look at the new tortillas; they'd already gone bad. They were moldy. But I had the unopened tortillas that had been in the fridge that were in the garbage, and I went and I retrieved them out of the garbage because I was like, well, they're still good. These are in perfectly good shape. I just wanted fresher ones. And my wife refused to eat them. And I'm like, these were in 2 layers of plastic in a garbage bag that had very clean, like no like nasty garbage in there.
Thanks for sharing that.
Okay, what if you put something? What if you had a fresh garbage bag in the garbage can, fresh bag? You had, and the only piece of garbage in there, and you retrieved it.
No. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I don't even eat reheated food. Like I don't
my
even.
wife is that way. My wife does not like leftovers.
Like if I don't even eat it from the fridge the next day, you really think I'm gonna eat it from the garbage? Like I don't do that.
I'm not eating from the garbage. Let me make that clear. I don't have.
Sure, Glenn. Sure.
It's not like I'm going in there and there's like a Twinkie sitting on top of a pile of like old newspapers and banana peels.
Have
and
you
I'm
seen
just like
all those like people on TikTok that are going like garbage, like dumpster diving at like outside of retail stores and like getting all kinds of things?
Yeah, and I know people that do that and get good stuff, and I know people that on hard times they've done that and they've ate well, and there are ways to pick and choose and do it in a sanitary fashion. But I'm saying your own personal garbage can, I am saying that there are exceptions to the rule. I agree with you 99 times out of 100
to the rule, unless this is Roman Reigns' food that he tossed away.
Oh Jesus. You're gonna see Issa in a like garbage can, so they're like eating like a half-eaten like power bar, and people are like, Issa, why are you eating out of the garbage? You're like, Roman didn't finish this. His germs are now inside of me, and I've consumed.
Phrasing.
Hey, it still is DNA anyway. Either way,
I have Roman's DNA in me. What happened next, bud?
You and Al for both, man. I used to be so innocent on this podcast, except for the occasional.
Oh, sure you were. You just needed the right kind of bots to bring it out of you. That's all.
I'm just saying, 1 out of 1,000 times, there's a reason to get something out of it. Okay, let me ask you this: how often are you cooking something?
I don't cook.
Okay, when you did cook. How often did you start making something and you threw away the packaging and then you realized, shit, I need the directions, and you had to go back and like look in the garbage to look at the directions for the packaging you just threw away?
It is time that you learn about Puerto Rican culture and the fact that we don't measure anything when we cook. So I don't care about the directions because we just kind of like toss things until it tastes the right way.
Time? What about the temperature?
You cook it until you taste it, and once it tastes right, it's done.
I got this Cuisinart like speed convection oven. Like this thing is much more like it's a mix of art versus science to get this correct.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't know. I don't know about you. You can ask anybody when I'm cooking. It's just like this, like this, like this. Cook, and then I just look at it, taste it. Oh, it looks good. It tastes good. Let's go eat. Okay. I haven't food poisoned anyone to this day, so my methods seem to be working.
Anyone to this day. Fingers crossed that streak holds. Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti interrupted Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, and Dan Lambert. What did you think about these promos back and forth? Page saying that Guevara and Conti are a PR disaster waiting to happen. Page phrases kid doesn't end up like Ty. Guevara saying, I don't give a shit about your kid.
Did it not feel like a little bit of a Dan Lambert face turn for a second? Because I feel like a lot of people are a little bit fed up with this Ty and Sammy relationship. So it was almost like, why are they saying what some of us are thinking? Maybe 80%. There was a study made, and 80% of people 80%. Do not agree with this relationship, and they're tired of hearing about it.
And Issa,
they gotta turn them heel.
I've just confirmed this. An independent study has confirmed that 80% of wrestling fans would eat Roman Reigns' half-eaten food out of a trash can. So you're not alone. You are in the majority.
I'm a bot.
No, this was a good promo. I like how Sammy and Ty, there does feel something very real about this.
They gotta turn them heel at some point, though, right? Because of the way people are kind of becoming aggravated with their overexposure of their relationship.
Oh, Fiend, you're watching the wrong wrestling podcast.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Fiend. Like it's like late night. It's past midnight, and there are lots. He's not here. He never watches us, so we just do whatever the hell we want. Honestly.
There are lots of wrestling podcasts that
talk about wrestling.
Yeah, talk about wrestling. Look, my motto, if I ever leave and do this on my own, not that I ever would, Raj. Don't worry, I'm not going to abandon you, brother. It's been 6 years now. But if I ever did this on my own, here's my theory. Here's my motif. My motif for wrestling coverage is what I like to call cover and a kick out. we cover the wrestling till we kick out and talk about something that's more interesting.
Yep. I mean, we have another podcast, you and I, that has nothing to do with wrestling, and we had gone on some weird trades on that one as well.
JJ's asking if I'm losing weight. I've lost a little weight. I need to work on my diet. I need to stop eating food out of the garbage, clearly. But no, for the last 6 weeks now, I've walked on my treadmill every single day for at least 20 minutes. And on the weekends, I'm doing like an hour and a half. I've been putting on movies, like 90-minute movies. Like I watched Stand By Me last weekend, walked for an hour and a half. Like I'll just do that, put that on, watch something. And it's nice. It's like a good way to get.
I was taking very good care of myself, my diet, everything. And then WrestleMania week happened.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I ruined everything. So I'm planning on Sunday getting right back to my routine, to my diet, to my exercise. But oh my God, 5 days in Dallas ruined months worth of hard work.
And I have this weird thing now. I miss getting Daily Harvest, but we don't have a lot of freezer room. So I'm like, I have to eat all the less good food that's in our freezer to make room to get Daily Harvest.
Just throw it out and get it later. Listen.
I miss the food in Texas. The vegan food.
Oh my God, Texas had great food. And you know what? It was funny because like the first 2 days I was so busy that I barely ate. And then the last 3 days, it was like the complete opposite where I made like dinner plans, lunch plans, so I could get to see everybody. You know, that's what you do. And I ate a lot, but the food was incredible in Texas. Not at the American Airlines Center so much. AT&T Stadium has some decent food.
Brand new arenas and stadiums have really good food. The legacy stuff, it's just all the same crap that's been there for years. It's like, hey, do you like a soft pretzel? Then good news, this is for you. And I do like a soft pretzel. But okay, let's talk about the drama. Let's talk about the beef tonight. Let's talk about the heat that's going down. Okay, so as people know, I watch Rampage. I don't watch Dynamite.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes, founder of the Nightmare Factory Wrestling School, recently went to WWE. They announced that QT Marshall is wrestling tonight, and QT Marshall is representing the Factory. So in my head, I say, oh, they're not going to say Nightmare Factory anymore because Cody is gone. So I shoot off a clever tweet that says the Factory, since they're not specifying which factory QT Marshall hails from, I've narrowed it down to the possible factories: the CNC Music Factory, the Cheesecake Factory, the Old Spaghetti Factory, or the Ann Taylor Factory Outlet. Now, WWE Camper Cena responded Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. John Schwab said since he's on his back so much, it has to be the Mattress Factory. And
that's a good one. That's a good one.
89 the Brainchild said since he's from Jersey, it's the Burlington Coat Factory. So I tweet this out thinking, haha, and I tag QT Marshall because I'm like, hey, what a funny little thing I'm saying. QT Marshall quote tweets me and says, the group's name is #the Factory. Did Twitter verifying you as being a complete fucking idiot? Now I'm about to go beat Swerve Confident. Tune into AEW Rampage now. So
he said you're a verified idiot, Glenn.
Well, I'm the idiot. He's the one who said he was about to go beat someone in a match that he lost 48 hours ago because he got his ass kicked by Swerve Confident tonight. And he's the one trying to tell you, go watch me beat Swerve Confident. Dude, you could say, go watch me fight Swerve Confident, but who's the idiot that says, I'm going to go beat this guy when it's like the spoilers have been out there, dude.
Maybe he thought they edited it his way. You know, maybe he was like, maybe he paid the editing team a couple extra bucks and he was like, watch, it's going to go completely different.
Maybe he got beat so bad that at the end he was like, I won, right? And everyone's like, yes, QT, you won.
He never wins. I don't even know why he would say, watch me go beat anyone, period. Like, it's not even about the fact that the match already happened. It's like QT Marshall never wins. So the fact that those words will come out of his like Twitter fingers is ridiculous. Listen, Glenn, there was an independent study that was performed, and it was proven that 100% of the time, QT Marshall will lose the match.
Love you, QT. Thanks for being a sport and having a good sense of humor.
The Verified Factory, Jonathan Lyman on the chat. We have found a new name.
Actually, you know what? I respect QT because I tweet out positive things, and people will retweet positive or nice things you say about them. I got a really nice tweet from retweet and response from Eva Marie over WrestleMania weekend because I was thinking about it. And I'm like, oh, we don't talk about this enough, but Eva Marie versus Bayley in NXT was a phenomenal feud, great match, very interesting for Bayley as a babyface defending, which is one of the toughest things to do. And Eva Marie was like, oh, that was one of my favorite matches too. Bayley was great. This worked out well. You can get a lot of interaction from wrestlers with positive things. I actually like that he was like, okay, I'm going to shoot back, motherfucker.
Yeah. I saw him. I was telling you, I saw him put Shara Sapp in his place recently as well. So QT is not holding back on Twitter, and I hope his dog is doing good.
Yes.
I paused for your tweet and the Cheesecake Factory. I thought that was awesome, by the way.
Originally, it was just going to be the CNC Music Factory. And then my wife was like, no, Old Spaghetti Factory. I was like, Cheesecake Factory. And then we were like, what's a funny outlet? And originally I was going to say the Sanrio outlet, but I was like, no, that might be a little too niche. And Taylor Factory outlet. That's it.
That's the one.
That's it. That's the one. Drake Haig, thank you for the $1. So Swerve Strickland versus QT Marshall, and this wasn't even close. Like Swerve very quickly, so great, dude. Like QT, the factory's your new faction, and you're like losing in less than time of a commercial break to Swerve. You're getting squashed. Congrats on your new faction.
Jobber Factory.
All I'm saying is CNC Music Factory goes for at least 4 minutes, and they're gonna make you sweat.
And at the Cheesecake Factory, you can find anything because their menu is so broad.
Huge.
It takes you longer to go through this Cheesecake Factory menu than it does for QT to lose a match. Man.
Okay, I love this match. This had like Mae Young Classic vibes in the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament tonight. And I might say with that, yes, I get through both tournaments, but this was like just a really good match. And we got to see Willow Nightingale take on Red Velvet. I hadn't seen Willow previously, so I think this was a star-making term for her. And I know the Mae Young Classic was full of those, which is why I'm making that reference. But Red Velvet versus Willow Nightingale, they gave them a decent amount of time, so much back and forth, so much, false finishes, great spots. The very end was a little rough, but I think Willow has massive superstar potential. I hope she gets signed, even though she lost this match to Red Velvet. I think she'd be a welcome addition to the AEW women's division. Hell, I think she would be awesome in NXT, but Willow Nightingale is an absolute superstar.
Yeah, I absolutely loved her in this match, and I wasn't familiar with her prior to this. I've seen a couple of things from her on Twitter throughout this week once the match was announced, and I thought she looked excellent. I also really liked Red Velvet on this match, which I've never seen to be invested into anything that Red Velvet does up to this point, but I also thought that she shined in this match. I really love both of their performances, and I thought they both look great, which, it's hard. It sometimes can be hard to do, to make both look good and win and lose. And yeah, I really like Willow, and I hope this is not the last we see of her.
Yeah, she was fantastic. This was a very, very solid episode of Rampage.
Yeah,
I mean, the more I think about this, since maybe the first two, this might be the best, most consistent episode that they've done.
I think out of the pre-tape ones that that things have gotten leaked out there, this was probably my favorite, because it didn't matter what I saw on social media, I was still able to get into it. Where other weeks, because I seen the leaks, it makes it very hard for me to kind of like get invested into what's going on. They did a good job at keeping your attention from beginning to end. The way they paced the show also, and the order of the matches really helped.
Yeah, and that's the key. It's like, if you're not live, your wrestling had better be A level to hold people's attention.
Yeah.
So main event tonight. Holy shit. Jon Moxley versus Wheeler Yuta tonight.
My God.
I hadn't really seen Yuta wrestle before, but he's the ROH Pure Champion facing Jon Moxley in the main event of Rampage tonight.
Wait, he's the ROH what?
Pure Champion.
Okay, they can't call that to whoever's holding the TNT title, right? Because it's not a very pure title belt. I'm sorry. I just didn't understand what the pure means. It means
Sure.
innocent, like
Yes,
you know.
instead of a purity ring, like the Jonas Brothers, you wear
You
your
get a
purity
purity
championship.
title. Oh my god, that would be
Oh
incredible.
my God, Issa, in the
That would
Attitude
be
Era.
oh my god.
Could you imagine in the Attitude Era if you had the purity title? And like it would be like hot potato. The male wrestlers would all be looking to lose the purity title. Like, you take it, no, you take it, no, you take it.
I love it. I know that's what we're supposed to talk about, but I couldn't stop thinking about that when they kept saying the pure ROH championship. And I'm like, what does that mean? Is he like innocent and like non-sin? He's obviously not a very sinful person. And I respect
No
that.
artificial sweeteners, no artificial flavors. 100% organic.
Pure.
Pure.
Pure. Oh my god, this was absolutely incredible. And I just have to say, like, I know this was taped on Wednesday, right? But I watched Mox put on some amazing matches this weekend on Dallas. The fact that he still has the energy to keep going, props to him. Also, I know a lot of people are giving Yura like a lot of credit, but Mox really killed it this weekend.
John Everett saying, is this like the chastity belt?
Yes.
Oh, that's such an Attitude Era gimmick. Like, and so when you have the pure title, like, you must abstain from everything.
Yes. Listen, let's talk about this match.
Let's talk about this match. Moxley comes in, Yuta goes off the turnbuckle, dives at him. So before
he didn't even let him like get in. Like, what? He was ready.
Crazy. Yeah. I mean, and this quickly, like, Yuta got busted open. So cue Vince going on the blood and guts tirade this weekend. I mean, this was like for TV. Like, holy shit, this was a brutal match.
Yeah, it was. And I think Kim on Twitter and Instagram, who always captures all the amazing photos, captured a picture where you could see like the blood like coming. It was an intense shot. And I wish that we didn't see so much blood in AEW so consistently, because tonight it made a difference, right? Like tonight it felt like, okay, blood does belong in this match, and it kind of added to it, where there are times that I feel like blood does take away from their matches. Tonight it was perfect. He was bleeding like crazy, and he's going against Mox. He wanted to earn Mox respect, and I don't know. I always expect all of Mox matches to go like this.
Yeah. I mean, this had no let up whatsoever.
No.
This just kept going. It was intense. Yuta was wobbly from the blood loss and selling that at one point. I mean, these guys just really got into it. And I think even in defeat tonight, through referee stoppage, I mean, Yuta passed out, but I thought this was like star making, like forget star making. This was superstar making turn.
It might be my favorite main event of Rampage, at least like that I can think of immediately. This is one of them that I enjoyed the most in a very, very long time, if not ever.
Yeah. I mean, so good. Regal came out, extended his hand. They had the handshake at the end. And this, I mean, just watch this match. Words almost can't do it justice for how good this was. And if this had been live, even the fact it wasn't live, it was still fantastic.
And like you said, that's all I saw on social media this weekend. You know, you see the spoilers. You kind of already knew Mox was going to win. But all I kept seeing from the people that were in the building were, you have to watch this match. Other performers as well were tweeting about it. And I have to say, it was beyond what I was expecting. A lot of people were going, oh my God.
No, and and Edward Cousins keeping it real. The pure title has different rules, so it's no closed fist hits. You only get a certain amount of rope breaks. Like, there's special rules.
Yeah, there's special rules for the pure title, definitely. But yeah, I thought
purity title. You can't even have impure thoughts with the purity title.
Oh, but then I lost it already.
That would be the gimmick. You would have it'd be like Maria Kanellis by the ring trying to like distract, because you think the impure thought, and then you lose the belt.
Oh, you should just have somebody that just shows up and takes it when somebody's having an impure like thought, and they don't even have to say anything. They just go like, hand it over. Because this like purity police knows that you're having dirty thoughts about Roman Reigns' leftover food in the garbage or something, you know?
Okay, so it's a little late, but for the men, it's the belt, but they wear it a little lower, like it hangs a little lower, and there's a bell dangling off the end. So that way, if that belt moves, while stationary, there was enough of an impure thought where they lose the championship.
Okay.
That's how we do it.
I love it.
Yes. It's like what Chuck Berry was singing about in My Ding-a-Ling, but as a championship belt.
I love that everybody watching this show is not going to look at this ROH Pure championship at the same way ever again.
Strangely, we've desecrated the Pure title. We've sullied and dirtied up the Pure title tonight.
That's what we do. That's what we do here late night on Fridays. So,
but no, look, this match was incredible. Like,
it was.
This is one of those where you almost can't even talk about it. You just need to watch.
Just go watch it. And I will say the most I've ever been into Wheeler Yuta ever.
And the blood, like, not to get too graphic about this, but the blood, like, looked, it was such like a clean red mask he was rocking that if that was pure blading or busting open, this could not have been done in a more perfect way to sell it.
That's why I say this was one of those situations where the blood really added to it. It didn't feel overdone. It didn't feel like it was an added on. It just felt perfect. Like it went perfect with the match.
Yeah. No, I love this episode. This was really good. I know we give Rampage a lot of shit sometimes for being pre-recorded and just kind of ending week, but this, every match on this was good. Even QT Marshall getting his butt kicked by Swerve. Women's match was fantastic. Can't put this over enough. And now that we talk about this, now I'm just like, man, fucking SmackDown tonight. Like post WrestleMania
SmackDown to me felt very weak.
Yeah. Even compared to Monday, even compared to Tuesday. I mean, Tuesday, Jesus Christ. I mean, NXT was just like, we're going to call some people up. We need to undo some things that we did Saturday. Like, let's make some changes. Oh, then we're going to have to make some more changes. I don't know.
Yeah, Braun Breaker is the NXT champion after Monday. And I was like, what? Then why didn't we just do it as stand and deliver? Like, why? I think they thought, like, personally, that maybe Braun Breaker winning the NXT title was that big whoa moment they wanted for that Raw after Mania, but it didn't really click with the audience.
They should have done stand and deliver Tuesday in Dallas because people would have stayed.
I mean, I was delayed. I could have probably gone and enjoyed it because I ended up not leaving Dallas until very, very late.
Yeah. Rick Zaldivar in the chat saying SmackDown 2 out of 10, Rampage 7 out of 10.
No, SmackDown was it was a little bit higher.
Maybe like 4.
Yeah, 4 like the titles that Roman wants everybody to have.
I'm gonna say Rampage was a 9, and the only thing it was lacking was like a big surprise debut. And I hate to say, like, AEW has become so synonymous with that,
right?
That you almost need that to.
But we did see Tony Khan announce that we're gonna get that match with Samoa Joe and Suzuki on Wednesday, which I think is going to be a killer match. So I'm excited for that. So maybe we didn't get a surprise, but Tony Twitter fingers did it again, announcing a hell of a match for Wednesday.
Like, part of me wants to just sometimes I look at his feed and I'm like, dude, don't you have like other business ventures? Like, is everything you do just on such autopilot that you could just sit there and just do this? Vince McMahon doesn't have this kind of time. Actually, you know what I think? I think Vince McMahon is like Creed on The Office, and Vince thinks he's tweeting all the time, but they got him a phone with a fake Twitter app, and those things just all go into the void. Because I think Vince has got some hot takes.
They probably have like a fucking burner account that he's tweeting out of, and I will give everything to find it. He probably doesn't even look if it's verified or not. He just sees his pictures, and he just like, he's probably one of those trolling Vince McMahon accounts that we see on our timeline. It's probably him actually tweeting.
There you go.
I don't know. I don't see why he just like. I just don't see the point of sweating social media to that extent. Like, to me, that was like, really? Because I just kind of get on Twitter. I use Twitter as my therapy. Like, I talk to myself on Twitter. I just say something publicly and I just like get out. Like, that's all I do.
So we've survived WrestleMania week, WrestleMania season.
Yeah, I'm still recovering though. I'm still recovering, but I will be good to go for Double or Nothing, where we will have our bonding experience that I'm going to vlog for my channel.
We'll eat food out of the garbage together.
I was thinking more like jumping off like the stratosphere.
I'm not doing that. That's not happening.
Well, would you record me if I do it though, like from the bottom, like?
Oh yeah, maybe. Let's see where we're at. Let's see where the numbers are at in 6 weeks. Let's see how I'm feeling about things.
Okay. You don't have to like get close to anyone or anything. If not, we'll just party at your house.
Gonna get a hazmat suit, go to Double or Nothing.
If not, we'll just party at your house. Don't worry.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us tonight, everyone. We'll see you back Tuesday. Talk about NXT 2.0. It'll be an eventful night. Issa's an NYC Demon Diva. That's Diva with a 1. I'm at Glenn Rubenstein, and we will catch you back here next time on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.